Hello, welcome to Pursuit of Perfect System. My name is Terry Ellis. I'm an audio reviewer and a professional Dirac Live Calibrator, and thank you for joining me. In this video, I'm going to be taking another look really at the topic that is the Chord Electronics Hugo M scaler, but with a specific and particular focus on the digital links that link between the Hugo M scaler and the Chord DACs, or maybe linking between any digital product. And that would be the same if we was linking from the Chord Electronics Blue Mark II scaler, which is a CD transport and which also has the M scaler technology built in. And it's an interesting one because the company whose products I'm going to be talking to you about in this video, that is exactly where they started. They started with a Blue Mark II scaler, and they was trying to get the best possible digital linking cable to link between that Blue scaler and the Chord Dave. And the company that I'm talking to you about is called Wave High Fidelity. Now, they are a Leicester in the UK based company run by a chap called Nick Bacon, who, as I mentioned, did a load of work and testing work on how to create the best digital cable to link between the Blue Mark II scaler and the Chord Dave. And as a result of creating a really great pair of cables, he sold loads of them because in listening tests, people preferred them. Fast forward a couple of years and Chord Electronics released the Hugo M scaler. And so with the Hugo M scaler, do Wave High Fidelity cables still make any difference? The company currently has a range of dedicated cables to link between the M scaler and the other Chord DACs. And these are dual cables, and there's 3 product lines in the range at differing price points. And you could do the math and think there's one specifically designed to go with a Chord Electronics Q-Tist and one designed to go with the Chord TT2 and then the flagship to go with the Chord Dave. But I really don't think it's as simple as that, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. And it is a fundamental design thing that I think is what separates the Wave High Fidelity cables from pretty much every other digital SP-Diff cable that I've experienced and seen on the market so far. The Wave cables have an array of 20 ferrites precisely spaced all the way along the full length of the digital cables. Now, these ferrites are tight fitting, they're specifically chosen, and as I mentioned, they're precisely spaced. Now, you'll see ferrites being used in tons of cables that you can buy in loads of different ways, but you'll normally only see one used right at the end before there is a connection to the component. So what High Fidelity have done, have taken this theory to the absolute maximum. And it's designed to try and ensure that absolutely no RF or radio frequency noise or interference can make its way into or onto the cables and then obviously into the DAC. Let's dive in and have a look at what separates the different Wave High Fidelity cables. Now, these are the company's flagship, and as a result, there's a lot of real attentions to detail paid here. Wave High Fidelity have chosen to use the really high quality OYADI BNC connectors. They're chosen for a specific reason. The conductor of the cable is a very high purity silver, and by high purity we're talking costing hundreds of pounds per meter purity. Speaking to Nick, the company owner, about how he assembles and builds these cables, bearing in mind he builds them all himself to order. Harry explained to me what he does and the attentions to detail that he pays in lots of different areas. Obviously, I'm not going to give away his trade secrets, but I was really impressed, and it reassured me not only that he knows what he's doing, but he's paying attention to details that I would be paying if it was me building these cables myself. The Wave High Fidelity Stream cables. Now, these are the middle cables in the range, and they cost about 50% of what the Storm reference costs, and yet there's still a lot of the same attentions to detail paid, but naturally there needs to be some form of cost cutting to get the price down. One of the main differences is there are different BNC connectors. These are not really premium OYADI connectors, but they are still really high quality ones, and probably one that might grab more attention is the fact that with the Stream cables, Wave use a really high purity copper conductor as opposed to really high purity silver. However, the construction is very similar, and we still have the full array of 20 ferrites placed all along the cable's length. The Storm reference cables cost £1,410 for a pair, and the Stream cables cost £890 for a pair. Both of them come in a really nice wooden box with really fantastic packaging, and I'm pretty sure worldwide free delivery is included in that price. I think when you consider what you're getting there in terms of material costs, the labor costs to put it all together, the packaging and the shipping, I think those are really good prices, especially considering you're getting 2 cables for your price tag when you would normally only get 1. There is a third set of cables in the Wave High Fidelity range, and these are called the Stone cables, and these cost £495 for the pair. Interestingly, they use a silver conductor, and they also feature 20 ferrites along the full length of the cable, just the same. They're an interesting cable, but I haven't tried them. I don't have them here. So what do I think of the Wave High Fidelity cables? Well, I've been living with and using the Stream cables for about the last 10 months, mostly linking between that Hugo M scaler behind me and the Chord Cutest DAC. And I must say I've been more than happy with them. Now, I actually contacted Wave High Fidelity and said to them, would they mind sending me their Storm Reference flagship products, because I'm about to try and push my review system to its absolute limit, and I wanted their best cables in the system for that, and there'll be some videos coming soon. And what actually happened, Nick Bacon from the company came here to visit me so that we could have a chat and he could show me the full product range and we could do some testing here with the Chord Dave, which is the reason why I've got the Dave, which you can again see behind me, but that needs to go back next week. What I would say in regards to the difference between the Storm and the Stream is that the Storm Reference is definitely the better cable, and it definitely gives the system more clarity and more transparency. Stream cables is a warmer sound by compare to the Storm Reference. The Storm Reference definitely allows for a more transparent and more clear sound by compare to the Streams, and the reason the Stream sounds warm is purely because of that reason. They're not as transparent and they're not as clear sounding. However, I feel that in certain circumstances the Stream could be the better option for you. If you've got a system where it's maybe balanced on the forward side or the borderline bright side, and you still want to improve the sound quality, you still want to get more clarity and more transparency from it, then in that instance, I think the Stream cables could be the better choice than the Storm Reference, even if you own the Dave DAC. I also don't think it's as clear cut and as simple as using the Stone cables with the Cutest and the Stream with the TT2 and Storm Reference with the Dave. And I actually think it could be the complete reverse. And the reason I say that is because with DACs like the Cutest, for example, it's a fantastic DAC, but compared to the better DACs, something like the Dave, it just doesn't have that outright transparency. So using cables like the Storm Reference, a cable that helps to improve the transparency from the system when you use them, it kind of makes sense that that would be the best cable to use between something like the Cutest and the Hugo M scaler. From a maths point of view, I can see some of you thinking that it's crazy to spend more money on the linking cables than it is on the DAC itself. And I would agree to a point. I think you're well within your rights to think that, but at the same time, I don't think it's bad advice. In a similar fashion, if you're using the Hugo M scaler with the Chord Dave, and like I mentioned, your system's balanced on the forward or bright side and you're worried about pushing it too far, then the Stream cables could be the perfect ones for you. Not taking away that ultimately the Storm Reference is definitely the better cable of the two. The cable design is an interesting one. It definitely looks different to most other cables, but think about what's on there and it makes perfect sense. The little linking bits in between the main ferrites, they're there on purpose. That's purposely designed, used as a spacer, and it's also to help the cable be more flexible. Naturally, they are heavy, and when you try and route them, they do half have a mind of their own, but what high-end cable isn't like that anyway? And I think another really important thing to mention is that in the last couple of months, those cables have been in and out of my system more time than Britain's had prime ministers and failed Brexit deals. And yet they are still in perfect condition, which I think is testament to their build quality and worthy of mention. So my final thoughts, I think these are some really great cables from Wave High Fidelity. They are the best digital SPDIF cables that I've experienced so far. As I mentioned, I've been using them in my system for actually longer than 10 months. I was using a single Storm Reference for about 3 or 4 months. When I got the Chord Hugo M scaler straight away, I got a pair of wave high fidelity and stream cables they were, and I've been using them for the last 10 or so months and I couldn't be happier. The build quality is fantastic. Yeah, they are a little bit quirky in design, but that is what separates them. That's what makes them unique. So fair play to Nick Bacon. You know, he's created a really nice set of products here that are fantastic for linking your Chord DAC components together, but they are ultimately just really high quality SP-diff digital cables, which means you can use them for linking anything together. They naturally come in B and C variety, so they are a true 75 ohm connection and cable, but you can use adapters and plug them into RCA sockets all the same. And I'm really happy with them, and I can see myself using them in my review system for the foreseeable future, and I can't really speak any higher of them than that. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been useful and I hope it's been helpful. And again, I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you go and visit our website. We really appreciate the support for you doing that. I'll definitely be seeing you soon. Thanks very much for watching and take care.